So I'm on day 3. I started on Monday. Not that I feel like I'm addicted to social media, but it heavily influences my mind. Facebook, you are deceiving my mind. And it really can be distracting. Like, I will get online to find information, so solely informational purpose. And I'll get distracted, my cat's tail. 15 minutes later, I'll be like, why was that on here again? So excuse my old lady robe and my cat's butt that you're gonna see a little bit of. I just want to encourage you if you want to do a social media fast, because Satan hates this. He really does. The last 3 days have been amazing, and they have been horrible all at the same time. And who would have thought that something as simple as not getting on social media would be so horrible? I don't even know why my eyes are tearing up right now. I think I'm just like stressed out. My issue with social media, I see all these things like, okay, I'm 28, I'm gonna be 29 this summer, and I don't have children. I just got married this past year. My husband and I decided to do marriage God's way, and thankfully we made it. And so we don't have children yet. We just got married. God has placed this amazing health insurance in our life called Christian Healthcare Ministries, and you have to be 300 days in before you can give birth. So we cannot start trying to have babies until even the end of March, okay? So it's February 7th today. Which is fine. Like, we're not in a rush, and we know God's timing. But I see these stay-at-home moms on my Facebook page or my Instagram, and even the non-glorious stuff like diaper blowouts and everybody crying all at once and no sleep, like, for some reason my heart's like, oh my gosh, I want that. Just like the little feet running around the house. I don't have any kids, I've never have, and my life is devoted to children. I desire that. I'm like, honey, can I be a stay-at-home mom someday? Facebook, you are deceiving my mind. Okay, listen, God has given me this dance studio that somehow went from 20 students to 158 students in 2 years, because we're doing it for God's glory, and it's something that God specifically asked me to do, and we just chose to take a leap of faith and do it. He's trusting me with this. My calling right now is not to be a stay-at-home mom, but my mind is distracted because of social media. I'm like, okay, this is so silly. I see these moms, these stay-at-home moms in Florida with these awesome, like, enclosed pools. And right now, we have a winter weather advisory. School was closed today. There's like 6 inches of snow overnight on the ground. And so right now, we feel trapped in a jail in a snow globe. And okay, so this is where God has placed me. Obviously, this is where He needs me. The story about how I got here is even more crazy, but I'm here in Bradford, Pennsylvania. So being in Florida with an enclosed pool in my backyard is not my calling, okay? Facebook, you are deceiving my mind. So I could go on for days about all these other things that I see online that distract me from my initial purpose. And that's not what God has called me to do. He's called me to be Mari. Facebook, you are deceiving my mind. But anyway, so my social media detox is stemming from these things. And I think a lot of us suffer from those things, and we either don't want to admit it, or we don't care, or make you want to step away from social media. So with this new journey with the youth ministry at church, and as we go deeper into the studio, and God has called me to share my story on my vlog, I feel like I have to step away from that so that my journey begins authentically. And so I wanted to share with you what's going on, like day 3, how's it going? On Monday, it was like rainbows and butterflies, and we had a pretty good day. And then yesterday, I started to feel really depressed. I had a ton of stuff to get done because my kids performed at the high school varsity basketball game, which to us is a big deal because there's a lot of people there, and we danced to a Christian hip-hop song. So the hundreds of people that were at this varsity basketball game, the game that everybody wants to see, they were going to hear about Jesus whether they knew it or not. was kind of excited, like, oh, we get to minister to all these teenagers and show them like how cool that hip hop can be and how it doesn't have to be about sex, drugs, and going to the club. These songs rap about Jesus. Like, my favorite line in the song is, I got money in my pockets so my pants never swag, and then it said, even on my best day I'm filthy rags. Obviously I'm not a rapper, but I'm like, gosh, I don't have money in my pockets, but even on my best day I am totally filthy rags. Like, I got issues. But anyways, we had this opportunity to share Jesus with all these kids in an atmosphere where Jesus is not accepted. Like, you don't, religion and school, public school don't mix. So my husband gets home from work 15 minutes late, and I'm like getting ready to go, and he's like, Mari, before we go, we got to go to Fox Financial. Well, mind you, my niece was born Monday. We were allowed to go see her on Tuesday. This is 3:45. We had to make sure that we were there to see my niece at 4 so that we could drop off our music to the gym by 5 o'clock. We couldn't be late because they had a basketball game, and if they don't test the music, we wouldn't know if it would work. Well, I've been praying a lot more with this social media fast, because when I want to scroll through my social media, I can't fill that time. So my mission is to focus on God, so I'm focusing. I'm going to pray. I'm going to read my Bible. Well, he's like, we got to go to Fox Financial. On the other side of town, I'm like, are you serious? How the tension started? Okay? Everything that Satan could throw in my path, bricks in my path, and chairs, he's throwing a fit, throwing people in my way to stop me from getting to the goal. And I knew we were going to get there, and we were going to make it, and God is good, and he was going to provide. So we just kept going. Went to Fox Financial, went to the school. When you get to the school, you got to walk all the way to the gym. It's not a short walk. We get to the gym, hand him my CD. It's 4:30. Haven't been to the hospital yet. The CD doesn't work. They don't have an auxiliary plug. Like, okay, well, we need a new CD. I was like, you don't have an auxiliary plug? Like, this is 2018. Who doesn't use an auxiliary plug for music? Can't use my phone. So before we go to the hospital, we had to run all the way back to my house on the other side of town, get my computer, go to CVS, buy CDs. They needed a CDR, and we had like a rewritable CD or something. I'm not sure how any of that works. Not technology smart here. So I'm burning this new CD on my computer, in the car, on the way back to the school. 4:45, we run down there. 4:55, I'm like, I got the CD, can we test it? So they test the CD, it works. 4:55, we had to be there by 5. Texted my cousin, I'm like, I'm on my way to the hospital, I'm so sorry I'm running late. I don't know, like, if she's like all drugged up, like tired, or she had a lot of visitors and she couldn't really text me back, but she was very short, and I was like, oh no, Lord, not her too. Like, all this pushback, not her too. We run back to the car, and we're headed to the hospital, which was across the street from the high school, but you have to drive like all the way around to get to the backside, so it's just annoying. It doesn't take a long time. I'm looking for my phone because I want to make sure I get a picture of my niece. My phone's gone. I'm like, not again. And then Jesse's upset with me because I'm like, Jess, leave it. I don't care. I just want to go see my niece. I don't care about my phone. He's like, Mari, you have this expensive iPhone. We are not leaving it. You're being ridiculous. So the fighting began. Okay, we fight. But this was like irritating because there was so much pushback. And then my husband too. And I'm like, please not my husband too. Please not my cousin too. Like, all this pushback, and I wanted to cry. So we go back to the high school, and thankfully on Jesse's iPhone there's Find My iPhone, and we typed in my Apple ID, and it was blinking, and my phone was at the high school. He's like, you stay in the car, you're a mess today. And he runs to find this phone, and he found it in a snowbank. Like, on the sidewalk walking to the gym, he found my phone in a snowbank. Guys, while I was running back to the car, my phone flew out of my pocket into a snowbank, and my husband found it, thankfully. But I mean, what are the odds? Like, I haven't lost this phone. I've had it for like a year and a half. Thankfully, we found my phone, and we made it back to the hospital. And my cousin was in a good mood, but she had other family visiting when I texted her. So the timing actually worked out. We just had like a little bit of family time while we were there, instead of being there while the other side of the family was there, and it could have been really chaotic. And I got to hold her and love on the mom and dad a little bit, and I got my picture. And we went to the high school. And my girls were like peeing their pants. They were so scared to perform. I felt really bad, but I'm like, the best way to do this is to get over it and get out on the stage. Like, I've been performing for years, and I get anxiety a little bit too. One girl accidentally put tights on instead of leggings. That happens more than you think it would. And it was time to get out on the floor, and this one girl starts having a panic attack. And I'm like, oh no. I don't know how to deal with panic attacks very well. She went out on the floor, and I'm like, okay, she's gonna be okay. And they start dancing, and guys, they killed it. Like, they did so well. We were performing in honor of one of our students who has neuroblastoma. She was diagnosed with cancer in November. She's been going through chemo, and so this was kind of a fundraiser for her. So we were performing in honor of her, not because we're good, not because we deserve to be out there, but because one of our students needed our support. And I tried to remind the girls that, like, this is not about us, this is about Alexa. There was a group of boys in the front of the stands laughing while we were performing. And I don't know if they were laughing at us or if one of the guys made a joke. I mean, all 11 girls that we have are drop dead gorgeous, so maybe they thought one of them was cute and they were laughing because that's what boys do, they make fun of each other. But there's no way that they were laughing at my dancers because of how they were dancing or what they were doing. I mean, they just like blew me away. They did so well. And so there was a couple girls that had anxiety, and they were just like in tears when they got off, and I was crushed. I'm like, we had this opportunity to share the love of Jesus with Alexa's family and all of these students and teachers and parents, and my kids are crying. Like, when I talked to the parents afterwards, they were like, oh my gosh, you had so many people cheering for you, this was great. And it was funny how Satan could use this small group of boys, there was maybe like 4 boys up there, to crush the spirit of my kids. I don't want something like this to crush them. When I left the gym that night, I was like, I'm done. I am so done. Like, I can't do this drama. And how do we take something that's not about us and we make it about us? And then I felt bad because I'm like, oh, those poor girls were having anxiety attacks. Miss Mari didn't know what to do about it, and so she just kind of said, like, you did amazing, and just know and believe that. And I can't make them believe that they have to know in their hearts. And so, like, I went to bed last night and I just felt horrible. Like, 3 days and Satan just totally tried to crush my spirit. And the crazy thing is, we did amazing. We had an amazing 3 days, okay? Like, God has worked in amazing ways just in the 3 days that I started this social media fast. Focusing in on Him, okay? It really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the social media, but more of where my attention is and what I'm intentionally doing during the social media fast. And so today's a new day. Today is Wednesday, it's day 3. There's no school. I have all the time in the world to get things together. And not today, Satan. No, not today. My God is greater than you. My God is stronger, and my God is more powerful, and my God has a plan, and He will see it through. It's time. You're done. You had your day. You're done. My joy is not going to be taken because of this. And I'm not going to let Him take the joy of my kids or crush my mission with those kids, with our studio, with my vlog, with the youth ministry. But not today. No. And I hope that when you start to feel pushback, because you can do it. Whatever your calling is, you can do it. You get up right now and you go do that. You do that calling, you start. You can do it. And you just tell Satan, not today. Not in this lifetime. You won't win. Hope you guys have a great day. And just smile. Every day find a reason to smile because it's worth it. It's totally worth it.